Colonel Chen watched Ambassador Krell's four eyes blink in their unsettling asynchronous pattern as they walked through the Joint Military Exhibition Center in Geneva. The delegation of alien diplomats followed behind them, their reactions ranging from polite disinterest to barely concealed anxiety. "This is our standard infantry equipment," Chen explained, gesturing toward a display case containing an assault rifle, combat knife, and tactical gear. "Basic tools, nothing special by your standards, I'm sure." Ambassador Krell's scales shifted from iridescent blue to a muted gray. "Indeed," he said, his translator converting his clicks and whistles to smooth English. "Quite primitive." Yet Chen hadn't missed how the Validian's hand had tightened around his ceremonial staff when they approached the weapons. For beings with technology centuries beyond Earth's, the aliens seemed unreasonably concerned about hardware that would be considered antique by their military standards. "Perhaps we could move on to the cultural exhibits," suggested Nexval, a junior Validian diplomat whose scales remained a calm azure. "We've studied your art with great interest." Chen smiled diplomatically. "Of course. But first, I was hoping to show you our defensive systems overview. Nothing classified, just the publicly available information on our early warning networks." The reaction was immediate and unmistakable. The entire delegation stiffened, and Krell's translator emitted a harsh static before he adjusted something on his collar. "That won't be necessary," Krell said, his voice now pitched higher. "We have extensive records already." "Records you've never actually verified," Chen pointed out. "Despite decades of observation, your people have never conducted direct scans of our defensive capabilities. I'm curious why." An uncomfortable silence fell over the group. Chen had been briefed to avoid pushing the visitors too hard, but her military instincts told her something crucial was being hidden. In her experience, understanding what someone was afraid to discuss often revealed more than hours of polite conversation. The Mrekti ambassador, a tall insectoid being named Tixon, suddenly spoke. "Your species is young, Colonel. There are protocols established long before your civilization emerged from barbarism." Krell shot Tixon a look that needed no translation. "What protocols?" Chen pressed. "Diplomatic ones," Krell said smoothly. "Now, about those cultural exhibits." Later that evening, Chen reviewed footage of the tour in her office at United Earth Defense Headquarters. Something about the aliens' behavior around even basic military hardware didn't add up. She froze the video on a frame showing Krell's reaction to a simple radar display. That wasn't the face of someone unimpressed by primitive technology. That was fear. Her secure terminal chimed with an incoming message. It was from Dr. Thomas Rivera at Jupiter Station. "Colonel, something strange happened during equipment exchange with X delegation. Their scanning tech went haywire when pointed at our defense modules. Not because our countermeasures stopped them. Their own systems shut down. Call me when you can." Chen sat back, tapping her fingers thoughtfully on her desk. Humanity had been welcomed into the galactic community with open arms, except when it came to military matters. The question wasn't whether the advanced races were hiding something. The question was what could make beings with the power to traverse galaxies afraid of humanity's comparatively primitive weapons. She made a decision and began typing orders for a classified investigation. Whatever secret the Confederation was keeping, Earth deserved to know. Dr. Thomas Rivera adjusted his glasses as he studied the charred remains of what had once been cutting-edge alien scanning technology. Jupiter Station's security lab was cramped but secure, perfect for examining the aftermath of the incident that had occurred just 26 hours earlier. "Play it again," he instructed the AI assistant. The holographic display activated, showing footage from the previous day's technology exchange ceremony. The Ixt Dominion representatives, tall, angular beings with copper-toned exoskeletons, presented their gift to the human delegation with obvious pride. The device, a compact hexagonal unit of gleaming metal, was described as a cultural exchange scanner, meant to catalog human artistic achievements. Rivera watched himself accept the gift with a diplomatic smile. What happened next still defied explanation. Captain Eliza Copper, head of station security, had casually mentioned that they should test the scanner on the station's defense mainframe records. Nothing classified, she'd added, just the basic protocols we've already shared. The senior IXT diplomat, Lord Emissary Vexcor, had moved with startling speed to stop her. That would be inappropriate for a cultural device, he'd insisted. The footage showed Capper laughing. Come on, it's just basic defense systems architecture. You've got ships that could blow this station apart in seconds if you wanted. What harm could looking at our shields do? Before Vexcor could intervene, a junior IXT had activated the scanner, aiming it at the defense console. The scanner hadn't simply malfunctioned, it had violently self-destructed. The alien technology erupted in a cascade of error messages in the IXT language before its components melted into slag. More shocking than the device's failure was the IXT delegation's reaction. Not surprise, but fear. Rivera paused the playback on Vexcor's face. The alien diplomat's expression was unmistakable across species boundaries. Pure terror. Rewind to time index 1423, Rivera said. Enhance audio. The hologram shifted, focusing on the moment just before the scanner activated. The enhanced audio caught something Rivera had missed during the actual event. Vexcor whispering into his communication device. Emergency override Pantheon 7. Abort scan. The command had come too late. Rivera's terminal chimed with an incoming call. Colonel Chen's face appeared on screen, her expression serious. I got your message, she said without preamble. You're sure their systems self-destructed rather than being blocked by our countermeasures? Positive, Rivera confirmed. Their technology committed suicide rather than scan our defenses. And here's the kicker. I've been analyzing the fragments. The failsafe wasn't a recent addition. It's hardwired into the base components of the device, using technology more advanced than the scanner itself. Someone built their equipment with restrictions they might not even know about, Chen said, her brow furrowing. Exactly. And it gets stranger. Rivera pulled up another file. After the incident, I ran a discrete diagnostic on gifts we've received from other species. Every single piece of alien technology aboard this station has similar failsafes. They're all designed to shut down if they interact too deeply with human military systems. All of them. That can't be coincidence. It's not, Rivera agreed. And there's more. The Validian science officer, Nexval, has been helping me investigate. When I showed him my findings, he seemed conflicted, like he knew something but couldn't say it. Then he gave me this. Rivera held up a small data crystal. He claimed it contains historical coordinates in the Confederation archives. Said if we want answers, we need to look in the forbidden sections of Tanalier. Whatever's keeping them from analyzing our defenses, Colonel, the answer isn't in their technology. It's in their history. Chen's expression hardened with determination. Then I guess we're going to need access to those archives. The archive chambers of Tanalier stretched impossibly deep into the planetoid, their crystalline walls humming with stored knowledge. Colonel Chen felt distinctly out of place in her standard-issue diplomatic uniform among the ornate surroundings. Dr. Rivera walked beside her, his eyes constantly darting from one ancient text display to another. We're being watched, Chen whispered, noticing the subtle surveillance devices embedded in the translucent ceiling. Of course you are, said Xulorth, their guide. The librarian's wispy form drifted ahead of them, the network of luminous veins beneath his transparent skin pulsing with each word. No humans have ever been granted access to these levels before. Why now? Rivera asked. Xulorth's expression shifted, the equivalent of a frown. Politics. Your species' rapid integration has supporters in high places, unusual supporters. They descended further, passing chambers filled with artifacts from civilizations long extinct. The temperature dropped noticeably as they entered a section carved from black stone rather than crystal. The restricted histories, Xulorth announced, his voice lower. What you seek is here, though I question the wisdom of showing you. The librarian pressed his palm against an obsidian panel. The wall rippled like water, revealing a small chamber beyond. Inside, holographic displays showed star charts of the Sol system dating back millennia. The first record of the Terran anomaly. Schulorth explained, activating a terminal. 37,000 years ago, by your calendar, the Arthani Empire, masters of predictive technology, attempted to forecast Earth's military potential. The hologram showed an insectoid species Chen didn't recognize operating complex machinery around an ancient image of Earth. They deployed 12 survey vessels with specialized scanning equipment. Schulorth continued. None returned. Their final transmissions mentioned quantum interference patterns and defense signatures that defy natural origin. Rivera leaned forward, studying the ancient data. They found something that scared them. More than scared, Schulorth corrected. The Arthani never sent another expedition to your system. They reclassified Earth as prohibited space. Chen pointed to another file. What about this one? Schulorth hesitated before opening it. The Mrekti expedition, 22,000 years ago. They believed the Arthani were simply superstitious. The new hologram showed Earth during an ice age. Strange energy readings surrounded the planet. The Mrekti deployed more advanced technology, attempting to bypass whatever had deterred the Arthani. Schulorth's voice became almost reverent. They succeeded, briefly. Their scans penetrated deeper than any before. This is what they found. The hologram zoomed to show a geometric pattern of energy deep within Earth's core, a pattern unmistakably artificial. 3 days after this discovery, the entire Mrekti fleet experienced simultaneous system failures. Thousands of ships across their empire simply shut down. It took them centuries to recover. Chen felt a chill that had nothing to do with the room's temperature. Something inside Earth defended itself. Perhaps, Schulorth said, or perhaps something used Earth to defend itself. The distinction may be meaningful. Rivera pointed to a third file, its encryption markings more elaborate than the others. And this one. Schulorth's luminous veins dimmed noticeably. That would be unwise to access. When Chen began to protest, he raised a translucent hand. Not because I forbid it, Colonel, because that file is actively monitored. By whom? Chen demanded. By those who established the quarantine protocols around your planet in the first place. Schulorth glanced nervously at the strange device on his wrist. The same entities who programmed every species' technology to avoid analyzing your military capabilities. The same ones who. The device on his wrist suddenly pulsed brilliant red. Schulorth froze mid-sentence, his gaze darting to the chamber entrance. We need to leave, he whispered urgently. Now. Someone knows you're accessing these records. Maya Okonkwo's laboratory aboard the International Orbital Platform was a cluttered mess of human and alien technology. Holographic displays projected incomprehensible data streams, while various devices hummed and pulsed with activity. Maya herself sat cross-legged on the floor, surrounded by disassembled components from a Validian communication array. Found you, she whispered as her diagnostic tool isolated a particular circuit pathway. The alien technology responded with a soft chime, confirming her suspicions. The door slid open, and Nexval entered. The young Validian scientist looked nervous, his scales cycling through muted patterns of blue and gray. You should not be doing this, he said, glancing at the dismantled equipment. If the Confederation discovers. They already know something's up, Maya interrupted. The question is why they're hiding it. She gestured to her findings displayed on the main screen. Look at this. Every piece of Confederation tech includes the same quantum isolation protocol. It activates whenever the system attempts deep analysis of human military design principles. Nexval's scales darkened. Perhaps there are good reasons. I'm sure there are, Maya agreed. But I'd like to know what they are before someone decides Earth is too dangerous to keep around. She hadn't meant it as a serious concern, but Nexval's reaction, a full-body shudder that turned his scales nearly black, made her pause. That's, Not actually on the table, is it? She asked carefully. Nexval moved to the viewport, gazing at Earth below. There are factions in the Confederation with concerns about your species' rapid development. Your military innovation rate exceeds all predictive models. Maya joined him at the window. So we're creative. That's hardly a crime. It's not creativity that worries them, Nexval said softly. It's the pattern of your innovation. It follows quantum resonance signatures that should not exist naturally. He handed her a small device resembling a crystal tuning fork. This will help you trace the signal source. I've modified it to bypass Confederation restrictions. Maya accepted it cautiously. Why are you helping me? You could get in serious trouble. Nexval's scales shifted to a determined amber. Because the protocols hiding this information are older than my civilization, yet they specifically target yours. That temporal paradox deserves investigation. He hesitated. And because I believe your species has a right to know what sleeps beneath your world. Later that night, after Nexval had left, Maya calibrated the device and began a passive scan of Earth. The results made her drop her coffee mug, which shattered unnoticed on the floor. The quantum signal wasn't coming from a single location as she'd expected. It emanated from every major population center on Earth, following neural pathway patterns that corresponded precisely with human military command structures. More disturbing, when she isolated the signal and ran it through a Confederation historical database, she found matches dating back thousands of years, long before humans had built cities, let alone military hierarchies. Her secure terminal chimed with an incoming message from Colonel Chen. Package from Tanalier received. Archives confirm external manipulation of Earth's development, dating back 50,000 plus years. Need your expertise on signal analysis. How soon can you reach Geneva? Maya's hands trembled as she composed her reply. The signal patterns on her screen pulsed in perfect synchronization with global human brain activity. Whatever was hidden on Earth, it wasn't just watching humanity. It was connected to every human mind on the planet. The Lunar Research Facility hummed with activity as Dr. Rivera adjusted the quantum resonance scanner. Through the reinforced viewport, Earth hung like a blue marble against the black void, deceptively peaceful, given what they now suspected lay beneath its surface. Recording initiated, Rivera announced, his voice tight with anticipation, focusing on military installation Alpha through Gamma. Colonel Chen watched as holographic displays materialized around them, showing tactical operations centers from 3 different continents. Seated nearby, Maya Okonkwo monitored cascading data streams, her fingers dancing across multiple interfaces simultaneously. There, Maya said, highlighting a pattern. When military personnel engage in strategic planning, their neural patterns generate quantum signatures unlike anything seen in civilian populations. Rivera nodded. And those signatures match exactly the patterns we found in the ancient records from Tanalier. Someone designed humans to think this way, Chen said quietly. Or something has been influencing our development for millennia. The facility's security system chimed, indicating an approaching shuttle. Chen checked the notification on her wrist terminal. It's Admiral Skirov. He requested this meeting privately, off all official channels. Minutes later, the ancient Durrani admiral entered the laboratory. His species aged slowly. Rumor suggested Zakharoth had personally witnessed first contact with 3 different civilizations. His leathery face bore the scars of numerous conflicts, and his 4 arms moved with deliberate precision despite his age. You've gone further than I expected, the admiral said without preamble, his eyes moving over their equipment. The Confederation Council would shut this down immediately if they knew. Yet you're not stopping us, Chen observed. Skaroth's expression remained unreadable. Some truths should not remain buried forever, even dangerous ones. He approached the holographic displays. Have you identified the quantum resonance pattern yet? Rivera nodded. It appears during strategic military planning, weapons development, tactical simulations, and it strengthens with each generation. The admiral finished. Your species evolves weaponry faster than any known civilization. Did you never wonder why? Maya stepped forward. The pattern is artificial, isn't it? Something is guiding our development. Not guiding, Zkaroth corrected. Learning from. Incorporating your innovations into itself. He gestured toward Earth. What sleeps beneath your world is ancient beyond reckoning. The Morrigan were the last to fully probe its nature, 3,000 years ago. What happened to them? Chen asked, though she suspected the answer. They were a brilliant species, Zkaroth said, his voice heavy with memory. Their understanding of quantum mechanics exceeded even current Confederation standards. They detected the anomaly beneath Earth and became obsessed with understanding it. The Admiral's hands moved over a console, displaying star charts of a region near the galactic core. They built a special fleet designed to bypass the quantum interference that had deterred previous expeditions. They succeeded in establishing a direct link to the Earth anomaly. His voice lowered. 3 days later, every Morrigan defense system across 27 worlds activated simultaneously. None of their safeguards functioned. None of their overrides responded. Their own weapons turned against them, Rivera whispered. Zkaroth nodded grimly. The death toll was in the billions. Their civilization collapsed in less than a week. Those few who survived abandoned technology entirely. He turned to face them directly. Whatever dwells beneath your world, it doesn't just study weapons. It can control them once it understands them fully. The protocols preventing analysis of human military systems aren't bureaucratic restrictions, Colonel. They're quarantine measures designed to prevent another catastrophe. Chen processed this revelation, her military mind already calculating implications. If this thing has been learning from humanity for thousands of years, then it now understands human weapons completely, Zkaroth confirmed. Your nuclear arsenals, your targeting systems, your strategic doctrines, all of it incorporated into whatever intelligence sleeps in your planet's core. Why tell us this? Maya asked. Why not just maintain the quarantine? The Admiral's ancient eyes met hers. Because the quantum resonance patterns are strengthening. Activity is increasing. After millions of years of dormancy, the system appears to be waking up. And if it does. He left the sentence unfinished, but they all understood the implication. The weapon that had destroyed the Morrigan civilization had been learning from humanity for millennia. And now it was stirring. The descent module plunged through layers of Earth's crust, its Confederation-enhanced hull glowing from the extreme friction. Inside, the joint human-alien team monitored systems as temperature and pressure readings climbed beyond conventional engineering tolerances. Colonel Chen braced herself as the module shuddered violently. Beside her, Dr. Rivera checked calibrations on the specialized scanning equipment, while Maya Okonkwo analyzed real-time data streams. The 3 humans were accompanied by Nexval, and, surprisingly, Admiral Zkaroth himself, who had insisted on joining this unauthorized expedition. Approaching terminal depth, announced the module's eye. Anomalous energy signatures detected ahead. The view screens shifted to show their surroundings. They had expected molten rock at this depth, but instead found themselves entering an immense spherical cavity that couldn't exist by any geological principle. Impossible, breathed Rivera. This chamber would collapse under the pressure, unless something was holding it open, Zkaroth said quietly. The module's lights illuminated structures along the chamber walls, vast geometric patterns of unknown metal that pulsed with subtle energy. At the center floated a construct the size of a small city, its architecture defying conventional physics. Parts of it seemed to exist in multiple dimensional states simultaneously. The deep vault, Maya whispered, giving name to the impossible structure before them. The module docked at what appeared to be an ancient access point. After environmental checks confirmed breathable atmosphere, another impossibility at this depth, they cautiously exited. The air is perfectly calibrated for human physiology, Rivera noted, checking his instruments. Not alien accommodation, specifically human. They moved through corridors that seemed to anticipate their presence, lights activating just before they entered each new section. The architecture was unlike anything in Confederation records. Curves and angles that suggested mathematical principles beyond current understanding. "It's responding to our neural patterns," Maya observed, watching as sections of wall transformed into information displays when she concentrated on them. Specifically, our tactical thinking patterns. They entered a vast central chamber where holographic displays activated automatically. The holograms showed Earth at various stages of development, from primordial planet to the present day, with particular focus on periods of human warfare. "It's been watching us," Chen said, "learning from every conflict." Zakaroth approached a central console that seemed designed for beings with anatomy similar to humans. This technology, it's far beyond even predecessor-era capabilities. Whatever built this was ancient when my ancestors were still primitive. Rivera studied information flowing across alien displays. "I believe this facility was designed to develop weapons, not just any weapons, but weapons that could evolve beyond their original programming." "Living weapons," Nexval added, his scales darkening with concern. A portion of the chamber floor suddenly transformed, revealing a hidden compartment. From it rose a crystalline structure that pulsed in perfect synchronization with human neural patterns. Maya approached it cautiously. "It's a quantum interface of some kind." She reached out, hesitated, then placed her hand on the crystal surface. The chamber erupted with light as holographic displays activated all around them. Images of civilizations they'd never seen before appeared. Thousands of worlds, countless species, all engaged in what appeared to be a massive galaxy-spanning conflict. "This is a recording from over 50 million years ago," Zakaroth said in awe, recognizing astronomical configurations. "Before any known civilization." The images showed a terrible force moving through the galaxy, consuming entire star systems. Against it stood an alliance of species employing increasingly desperate measures. The final images showed a decision being made, the construction of something terrible yet necessary. They were losing a war, Chen realized, against something that threatened the entire galaxy. The hologram focused on a familiar blue planet, early Earth, being seeded with technology beyond comprehension. "They didn't build a weapon," Rivera said, his voice hollow with the weight of revelation. "They built a weapons designer, a system that would evolve alongside an emerging species, incorporating their natural capacity for warfare and innovation." Maya's hand still touched the crystal interface, and they chose humans as the organic component. Her eyes widened as information flowed directly into her mind. "The system has been guiding our evolution, subtly influencing our development of weapons and strategy for millions of years." Admiral Zakaroth's expression grew grim. "And now, after eons of development, it appears the system is preparing to fulfill its primary function." "Which is what?" Chen demanded. Before the Admiral could answer, the entire chamber shuddered. Throughout the vault, ancient systems began powering up, responding to their presence, or perhaps to something else entirely. "We've triggered something," Nexval warned, his scales now almost black with fear. The holographic displays shifted to show real-time images from around the world. Military installations were lighting up with unexpected energy signatures. Defense systems were activating without human commands. The ancient weapon was awakening. Chaos erupted across Earth's surface as military systems worldwide activated without authorization. In the Pentagon's crisis room, General Williams stared in disbelief at reports flooding in from every command center globally. "Sir, nuclear silos in Montana are reporting automated launch sequence initializations," a pale-faced lieutenant announced. Similar reports coming from Russia, China, India. "Every nuclear power. Override codes are being rejected," another officer added. "Something is isolating our systems from manual control." The general grabbed a secure communication terminal. "Get me Colonel Chen. Now." Deep beneath the planet's surface, the expedition team raced through the awakening vault as ancient machinery hummed to life around them. Maya's fingers flew across the crystalline interface, desperately trying to interpret the flood of information. "It's not just activating," she shouted over the growing noise. "It's networking. The system is establishing quantum connections with every military installation on Earth, overriding command protocols." Chen received the emergency transmission from the surface, General Williams' voice distorted but comprehensible. "Colonel, we've lost control of our defensive systems. What the hell is happening down there?" "The weapon is initializing," Chen replied, her military training keeping her voice steady despite the crisis. "We need to shut it down before." A massive tremor shook the chamber, cutting the transmission. Across the vault, new systems activated, holographic displays showing real-time feeds from military bases worldwide. "The quantum entanglement is spreading," Rivera observed, monitoring readings from their equipment. "The system is accessing weapons platforms we didn't even know existed." Admiral Karoth moved beside Chen, his ancient eyes grave. "The Confederation will detect this activation. Protocol dictates immediate neutralization of the threat." "You mean they'll destroy Earth?" Chen translated bluntly. "They'll try," the Admiral corrected, "but I fear what this system might do in response." Nexval, who had been studying the secondary console, suddenly looked up. "I've accessed part of the system's operational parameters. This isn't just a weapon. It's a planetary-scale defense platform designed to counter the enemy shown in those historical records." "But that enemy disappeared millions of years ago," Rivera pointed out. "The system doesn't know that," Maya realized. "It's been developing all this time, preparing to fight a war that ended eons ago." Chen approached the central interface where Maya worked. "Can you communicate with it? Make it understand?" "I'm trying, but—" Maya gasped as the crystal beneath her fingers pulsed, sending information directly into her mind. Her eyes widened. "It's not just accessing our weapons, it's accessing us. Human neural patterns related to warfare and strategy are being compiled, analyzed. Our minds are part of the system," Rivera concluded. "Every military innovation, every tactical doctrine, every strategic theory humans have ever developed. All of it feeding the evolutionary algorithm." Zkara finished. "The most comprehensive weapons development program the galaxy has ever seen, with humanity serving as its creative engine." On the holographic displays, they watched as Confederation vessels appeared at the edge of the solar system, establishing a quarantine perimeter. At the same time, dormant defense platforms hidden in the asteroid belt, platforms humanity had never built, began activating in response. The floor beneath them shifted as the entire chamber reconfigured itself into a command center. At its heart, a three-dimensional tactical display materialized, showing Earth at the center and the approaching Confederation fleet as potential threats. "It's preparing to defend itself," Chen realized, "using weapon systems we never knew existed." Maya's connection to the crystal interface deepened, allowing her to perceive the system's underlying structure. The activation sequence is reaching completion. Once fully online, the system will deploy whatever countermeasures it deems necessary to neutralize all perceived threats, including the Confederation fleet, Nexval said quietly. "Which will respond with everything they have," the Admiral added. Chen studied the tactical display with growing horror. Humanity had unknowingly developed the perfect weapon for millions of years. Now it was awake, and unless they found a way to stop it, their species might become the unwitting catalyst for a war that could consume the galaxy. "How do we shut it down?" she demanded. Maya looked up from the interface, her expression grim. "We don't. The system was designed without an off switch. Its creators wanted to ensure it would complete its mission, no matter what." "Then we need to change its mission," Chen decided, "before it's too late." The vault's command center pulsed with escalating energy as the ancient system approached full activation. Outside Earth's atmosphere, the Confederation quarantine fleet had doubled in size, their weapons primed. Humanity stood at the precipice of annihilation, caught between an awakening superweapon and an alien armada prepared to sterilize the planet if necessary. We have less than 30 minutes before the system reaches full combat readiness, Maya announced, her consciousness still partially merged with the crystalline interface. Once that happens, it will perceive the Confederation fleet as an enemy force and respond with everything it has. Dr. Rivera analyzed cascading data streams across holographic displays. The system's processing power is incredible. It's analyzing every military strategy humans have ever conceived, combining them into something new. Colonel Chen paced the command center, her tactical mind racing. There must be a vulnerability, a way to redirect it. I may have found something, Maya said suddenly. Her eyes had taken on a strange luminescence from prolonged contact with the interface. The system has a fundamental programming limitation. It was designed to evolve optimal weapons based on its host species' innovations. But what? Chen demanded. It can't distinguish between technologies designed to destroy and technologies designed to protect. It only recognizes effectiveness and innovation. Admiral Karoth moved closer. Are you suggesting a paradigm shift? Maya confirmed. If we could redirect human military innovation toward defensive rather than offensive technology, the system might reconfigure itself accordingly. Nexval's scales flickered with sudden hope. The quantum entanglement works both ways. The system influences human innovation, but human innovation also shapes the system. Chen grabbed her communication device. General Williams, are you receiving? The general's strained voice came through. Barely, Colonel. Situation critical. Confederation representatives are demanding we explain the energy signatures emanating from Earth. They're threatening immediate action. I need a global broadcast channel, Chen instructed. Military command frequency. All nations, highest priority. You can't be serious, the general objected. It's our only chance, Chen insisted. Either we make this work, or the Confederation sterilizes our planet. Those are our options. Minutes later, Chen addressed military leaders worldwide, her voice steady despite the desperation of their situation. This is Colonel Chen. I know you're detecting unauthorized system activations. What you're experiencing is an ancient defense platform awakening beneath our feet. It's been learning from human warfare for millennia, and now it's preparing to fight. She paused, gathering her thoughts. We can't shut it down, but we can change its purpose. The system can't distinguish between weapons and shields. Only innovation matters. I'm asking every military mind on Earth to focus on one thing: protection, not destruction. Defensive systems, shields, countermeasures, anything that preserves life rather than taking it. Around the world, skeptical commanders and strategists received her message. Some dismissed it as insanity, but enough understood the desperation in her voice to comply. In the vault, Maya monitored the quantum resonance patterns. Something's happening. Neural activity across military command structures is shifting. Rivera studied the readouts. Military think tanks, research divisions, tactical units, they're pivoting to defensive doctrine. The system is responding, Nexval observed as the holographic displays flickered, reconfiguring to show new patterns. The transformation began slowly, then accelerated. Earth's military installations, previously preparing for attack, began generating protective fields. Satellite weapons platforms reconfigured into defensive arrays. The ancient machinery of the vault hummed with changing purpose. Admiral Karoth watched in amazement. In all my centuries, I've never seen anything like this. Your species is collectively rewiring a weapon of incomprehensible power through sheer force of will. The massive tactical display at the center of the chamber transformed, showing Earth surrounded not by weapons targeting outward, but by concentric layers of protective barriers. The Confederation fleet is hailing us, Maya announced, still connected to the interface. They're detecting the change. On the surface, General Williams watched in awe as a shimmering field of energy enveloped the planet. Not a weapon, but the most advanced protective shield ever witnessed. "My God," he whispered. In the vault's command center, Chen addressed the Confederation representatives through the communication system. "This is Colonel Sarah Chen of Earth. The weapon you feared has been transformed. We choose to protect, not destroy. We request diplomatic dialogue rather than conflict." After a tense pause, the lead Confederation vessel responded, "Your transformation is unprecedented. We will establish diplomatic channels." As the crisis eased, Maya finally disconnected from the crystal interface. The system has completely reconfigured. The predecessors built it to evolve, and it just underwent the most significant evolution possible. A change in fundamental purpose. From the ultimate weapon to the ultimate shield, Rivera said, shaking his head in wonder. Admiral Karoth's ancient face showed a hint of what might have been a smile. "Perhaps this is why the predecessors chose your species, not because humans are natural warriors, but because you possess the capacity to choose a different path." Chen looked at the tactical display, now showing Earth protected rather than armed. The transformation wasn't just in the ancient machine, but in humanity itself. They had been designed as the organic component of a superweapon, but had chosen to become something more. What keeps advanced alien races from probing humanity's war machines? Chen mused aloud. Maybe in the end, it's our capacity to turn weapons into shields, destruction into protection, that makes us truly dangerous and truly valuable.